What do you guys let's let's break it down. We got a little bit of a break this week because all we've talked about, all it's been talked about has been the Epstein files, but there's a lot of other news going on. And so we do this once a week. It's time to dig in deep, find a shitty story, pull that shit out of the bottom of the pile and bring it to light. Take a look at our turds of the week. Um, let's go first on this one.
I will.
Go for it, Brad.
Sick. So my turd of the week or of the year or of the every single day of our lives is the United States economy. Um, yeah. So from a stock market standpoint, um, Joe Biden in the summer of 24 had a Dow Jones high of 45,000 and some change. And as of today, which I believe is like 16 months later, the Dow Jones currently sits at 45 and some change. Um, so even though the annual return on the Dow Jones is roughly 9% a year over the last 30 years, over the last 16 months, it's been a staggering 1.5%. So that's what the economy actually looks like for people that are like, oh, yeah, it's booming. Well, actually, no, it's not. The Dow Jones has literally risen by hundreds. Um, So that's the facts. Unemployment is at 4.4% in the United States of America. Our government is currently refusing to release the jobs report from October because of the government shutdown. If the government's just flat out hiding it, that doesn't feel great. That
No.
doesn't feel great. Currently, the number of unemployed people between the ages of 18 and 24 is the highest percentage it's ever been ever, at just over or just under 10%. So the youth are not getting jobs. Um, and we lost $1 trillion today in the stock market. $1 trillion was erased from the stock market today. That's just today.
Yeah.
After which, what I've learned is, with any sense at all, you can just get. If I had $1 million, I could have turned that into so much money because you can just watch it happen now. They're just manipulating the market. Yesterday, Nvidia comes out and they're like, crazy quarter, insane. Look at how much money we made. And then in the morning, it's just fucking like the fucking guy on The Price is Right. Yeah. Right.
Yodels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the yodel guy.
And then all the fucking people that have already been in it just waiting for this moment were like, gotcha. Boom. And pulled the rug, dude.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact number, but it wiped $1 trillion out of the market.
I believe it's called
Like
a
they're just
bull trap on the stock market, right?
yes.
Yeah, it's a bull trap, not a rug pull. Rug pull is more of a crypto term.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of crypto, $120 billion was wiped from the crypto market today. 120. That's just today. That's today. There's definitely the whole market definitely isn't propped up by AI. That's for sure. It's definitely not relying solely on what AI does. That's
Why
it.
why do I have a deductible?
Yeah.
Like all this money just can just disappear, but I have to have a deductible.
Oof, it's gone $1 trillion today. Oof,
Okay.
gone.
Yep. Money isn't real, George.
And you know where that money went? It didn't go to us. You
No,
know what I mean?
I
We're
was
the
gonna
ones that
say
lost it.
it's not
We're
here.
the we're the ones that lost it. The people that were like, dude, get in, get in, get it. It's the time. It's gonna skyrocket.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, I'm gonna put my life savings on it because I got a hunch. And
Yeah.
then they did, bro. And then they got wiped out. So now the people that like the small hands are getting wiped out. That's what this all is. It's just to take out the small money, which is, everybody underneath them.
Yeah. For the for the layperson, what is happening is that the people are being robbed of their money by rich people. Like that's what's happening. Like they're literally just being preyed on. Like that's what's happening. Oh my God. Derek, you want to start thoughts? You want to add some thoughts on the economic numbers? Because I know I just don't even fucking trust them. Uh, but it's been a
Yeah,
bloodbath all day.
yeah, that's where I start. I mean, I know I had heard that year over year, I think October was down 50,000 jobs overall. And I'm with the, I won't go into too much detail, but the industry that I work in, um, it's everything is down. I mean, it's when you look at what companies are buying, what their quarterly profits are looking like, it's all terrible. And then that trickles down into everything. So yeah, you're seeing this across the board. I mean, it's companies making you have to sit in your job making decisions for your company that you know that you're going to wind up paying for on Sunday. It's crazy.
No.
It's like, great, yeah, pass on these costs so that I can pay them later. That's what it's all about right now. How can we pass on these costs?
Yeah. I'm going to continue to take advantage of the extremely low stakes of my very small podcast and remind you that I called this recession long before any other expert called this recession. And I'm telling you right now, we are in the middle of a depression. These are depression numbers. There is no construction, no imports, no exports, no manufacturing, no jobs, no nothing. Nothing. We have contracted so hard and heavy so quickly. And this tech bubble is literally just pulling the economy up. And there's nothing inside of it. I mean, and when I say nothing, I mean less than nothing. Like Sam Altman was in front of a room of VRs telling them straight up, like, I don't know how you're going to get a return on your investment, but good news, once we build AI is going to tell us. These are the morons that have the money. We are being led around by some of the dumbest people on the planet. The absolute stupidest people have all of the money. Uh, Elon Musk, Sam Altman. These people are fucking class A bonehead morons. Peter Thiel is an insane person and probably a pedophile. He's on that list too. He's been to that island. Like these are the people leading this country, and they're the reason the stock market is tanking because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. All they know is they're taking. They don't care about the long term effects, and they don't care that this is all going to come crashing down to their heads because they're not smart enough to even know that. All they know is they can take advantage and rob this place. They believe in places like Argentina that as long as they get rid of all the regulations, things are going to be great. And even though they watched that experiment fall flat on its face in Argentina, they're still doing the same thing here in the United States, peeling away every regulation, every stopgap, every guardrail, and allowing free flow capitalism to happen. And this is, I mean, an insane thing to do. An insane thing to do. This is not a free market because a market, by definition, has rules and regulations, or it's not a market at all. And so this is just, it's not crony capitalism either. That's not a good enough word for it. Okay. This is robbery in plain sight. It's a depression, folks. It's here.
They have created a monopoly on money. Essentially is what they've done.
That's a great way to put it.
I mean, that's the best way to explain it is that they control everything.
Privatized everything.
Yeah.
Everything belongs to the stock market. Everything is reliant on the stock market. So you have to put your money into the stock market in order to have anything at all. And it's just, yeah, uh, it's like the mountain in How to Train a Dragon. You know what I mean? You just have to keep feeding it and feeding it, feeding it. It'll never be satisfied. And if you don't feed
No.
it, it'll wake up, fly out of the window, and burn your village to the ground and take your shit.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it still is because they got beat up a little bit today, but Nvidia has a higher market cap than Microsoft.
Yeah. And
Like you don't
Nvidia,
understand the company's valuation is $5 trillion.
yeah. Say what you want about Xbox, but at least that's a real thing.
Right.
Like,
They have a
yeah.
higher valuation than Microsoft does.
Ugh.
Imagine if just one day they're like, "Hey, this is stupid," and it loses 80% of its value. That's $4 trillion.
Gone in the wind. Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad. And you will continue to hear honest reporting here because we're not important enough to incite a panic, so we can tell the truth.
I
Like
yeah, I just live it. I just give you real lived experiences of what the
for
economy's
sure.
doing, and it's not great.
No self-respect, no economist is going to tell you this until it's too late because Like they have the sway to tip the scale essentially, and they feel a weight of responsibility to pretend like a depression is not a depression, to try to avoid the worst parts of a depression. But we are there. Like you are seeing what you are seeing. I'm only here to confirm to you. I'm not an expert. I'm only here to confirm to you what you already know. Like, believe your eyes, believe your pocketbook, believe the fact that it costs $1 trillion to go to the grocery store and you don't have it. Like, believe that. That's where we're at. That's what's happening. All right. Uh, Derek, let's go to yours.
All right. Cool. Well, yeah. So mine is the next fun subject of the dismantling of the Department of Education.
Oh, fun.
Um, so as most people are probably aware, the administration is in the process of dismantling the Department of Education. I will mention that was also outlined in Project 2025. And mainly this is being done by reallocating the core functions and the grant programs that were under the Department of Education to other federal agencies. And they're doing this through interagency agreements. And so basically, because they're doing it this way, it doesn't force them to have to put anything to a vote from the way I understand it. But they can't actually get rid of the Department of Education without an act of Congress. So they are not, abolishing it at this point. They're not dismantling it, but they are pretty much moving everything out and outsourcing those responsibilities. So a lot of what that looks like is, I mean, this is the one, that I was kind of most concerned about. So the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education, the Office of Post-Secondary Education, and K through 12 and higher education are all being switched over to the Department of Labor. So there's some other ones in there. The grant program for parents attending college and the management of foreign medical school accreditation are going over to Health and Human Services. The Indian education program is going to the Department of the Interior, and the foreign language programs are going to the Department of State, where they'll each kind of handle those same responsibilities. So I'm not too familiar with a lot of these ones. Obviously, like the grant programs, I know a little bit about. But as far as like the foreign language programs and a lot of that, I don't have too much familiarity with. But I mean, what stands out to me obviously is that, the K through 12 and the elementary and secondary education stuff is all going right in and getting labor. And I guarantee you there is no mistake there, right? Like, why are they putting our schools in with the Department of Labor? Because, at this point to them, our kids are just basically their future machines.
Yeah.
And so basically, the big takeaways from this are these agencies are going to have like no knowledgeable oversight to any of this stuff. They're going to have, risk of misappropriations. It's like if you're looking at budgets, how are budgets going to be reallocated, blah, blah, blah. There's all that stuff that it has to go through. And of course, like Trump always does, none of this stuff is done in a thought out way. It's just snap of the fingers and it's reallocated before any analysis is done. There's not going to be really any auditing metrics in place to begin with either. But really what it comes down to is just, for me, what this does to the kids. And I mean, this is where the rant really begins for me, is because it's like, everybody talks about the kids, the kids, the kids. And it's like, you know what? America doesn't give a fuck about our kids. We do not give a fuck. We let them get shot up in the classrooms. We let them get, raped in church. And we let them sit in, when they grow up, we let them sit in the fucking steps of the goddamn White House to, and still not be heard. And those are our kids, those were kids that happened to. And it's like all this stuff could be bettered with education. And they know this, right? They attack education because they know that's where the fundamentals start. It is our kids. But the thing is like when we look at kids, if you're talking about the future, like people look at kids and say, think about the kids. And there's people that literally think about the kids' lives, who those kids are as a person, who they're going to grow up to be. And then there's people that say, think about the kids. And what they mean is think about the future of America and fuck those people
Yeah.
because think about the kids, So I'll end the rant there. But I mean, like, this is just on top of all the stuff that they've been doing. I got two kids. I got a 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. I mean, this hits home for me and for so many people. It's in our homes, and it's like half the reason I was, when I look at how involved I want to be and how much do I want to stand up and how much do I want to say, so much of that gets regulated through my kids. Like I have to be able to still be a good dad. I have to be able to sit here and provide for them. But then this administration turns around and fucking attacks them. And it's like, what is my incentive to not do those things anymore? Like all those things that I was like, well, I don't want to get thrown in jail for the kids. Well, you know, at this point, my kids might be the one getting thrown in jail because my daughter goes to a, fully bilingual school, one of only three in our county.
Mhm.
So if anything happens with ICE coming into it, she's right on the fucking chopping block, and even if she doesn't get taken, she gets to see her friends get ripped away from her. And it's fucked up.
It was really
And
fucked
everybody
up.
wants to talk about kids and they are just getting at every turn, you know, the only time that anybody really wants to stand up for them is before they're fucking born. And once
Yeah.
they are, who fucking cares?
Yep. Yeah, no, it's literally the stated policy of the GOP to fuck kids in any way, shape, and form possible. I've said that
Yep.
before, I'll say it again, but that is their that's what they're about. The the idea like they pass these laws in any state where they have the power to allow kids to work late nights, school nights. If you're going to if you're going to have a mass deportation plan, then you must also have, like you were saying, a free labor plan, which is immediately being replaced by 16, 17-year-olds because they can get away with saying, well, you don't need, they can pay the minimum wage because they don't need a living wage because they're not, they're still, kids. And that is beyond, like, that's doubling down on a bad idea. Like that is not only like that is a horrible, horrible fucking argument. And if you think it's a good one, then fucking, I don't know, pray harder because something's amiss. You got a fucking screw loose between you and the fucking big guy. Like something is wrong with you. Um, and then too, like the Department of Education is about civil rights enforcement and about making sure that kids who have different needs get educated. Like these are important things that have to happen at a federal level. And by breaking them up into different departments, like the Project 2025 guys, Trump is not the planning guy, but those guys had a plan. And when they came in and they're putting these things all over the place, they've made it completely inefficient and completely kneecapped it. There's nothing ever going to get done. These agencies need to communicate with each other. Whatever funding they get is a complete slush fund for whoever runs it, because like you said, like they can't be audited now. So, you're not getting free school lunches, but somebody is getting probably, a bonuses for sure. You know what I mean? And this is, it's, I don't know. People don't, we've been too long have just been fed one side, right wing media nonsense over and over again. And those talking points, even Democrats start with these talking points. Yes, the government is inefficient. Not all the government is inefficient, right? Like the Department of Defense is inefficient, but the Department of Education does pretty goddamn well. And they pass their audits. They do a lot of great things. Hungry kids don't learn shit, like you have to have it, like you should have a Department of Education. Like that should be a priority for you if you gave a fuck at all about children. I don't know, Brad, you've got kids. You care to yell about this a little bit too?
Because they don't care about kids. They just know that the more education you receive, the less likely you are to vote for regressive policies.
Mm. Hmm.
Like that's exactly what it is. Like if you look at the charts of who voted which way, the higher level of education you had, the more likely you were to vote Democrat. That's just as simple as it is.
Hmm.
Because once you leave high school and obtain an education outside of a high school education, then you learn to think independently. And that terrifies the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Like they do not want you to think outside of the box that they create for us. Like, you know, but we've talked about it before. Like the American pride thing, they like just shove it down our throats from the very beginning. They don't want you to think about any bad thing they've ever done or white, like they like are up in arms if you mention critical race theory, dude. They get to panicking. You talk about a little bit of accountability. They're like, absolutely not. The
Yeah.
objective is to keep the kids dumb. Like if you want to, they bitch about how we're falling apart or education's falling behind. It's because we're not investing enough into education. If you look, like there are other countries, namely China, that has a federal bureau of education. They are outpacing us all the time academically. And it's very clearly proven that if you invest in your kids, the return is what you're seeing in China.
Yeah. I,
And we're like, take the money away from the kids. Fuck them. We don't care. There's too many administrative costs. Okay, maybe we could talk about that. But like, is that the reason we stopped funding? Is that the reason we dismantled the Department of Education? That is just crazy to me. Like, there's misappropriation everywhere, and they're like, we should just basically turn our backs on the future generations
yeah.
because we need them just smart enough to be able to run these machines we're getting ready to build.
Yeah. The Reagan lie about the government that has been so prolific. It's so not true. One of the most deep what we saw from Doge was just how efficient the offices that they attacked were. Like the Social Security office, there was nothing. They found nothing. They found less than nothing. What they found was a very efficient machine that never missed a payment. You've never seen anything that works that well. You've never, I mean, Medicaid and Medicare, when it was expanded during COVID, people are, people have fucking euphoric views of what happened during COVID because of progressive policies that were enacted at the time. Because you didn't have to worry, like you had health insurance, like everybody who had health insurance, relax, and that was such a big lift off of people, you know. And with the dismantling of these things, are just causing more and more anxiety, and that is the point. You know, but we're back to a point where you're supposed to feel grateful. Thank God I have a job. You know, uh, and instead of thinking to yourself, well, you know, I should ask for a raise, you think to yourself, well, better not say anything or they'll replace me with a machine. You know, and I don't know this kind of stuff. Like it's a indictment on our society that we won't spend money on education. Anybody that just is against that, like I don't understand what your priorities are. I don't get you. You're a weird little shit, Frank, and I don't get you.
I think
I'm
so much of it too, in my own little conspiracy on it, just comes down to just straight up procreation, where they benefit their side. If this plan goes through, they benefit just from people. So you take education out of the picture, then you take away sex education, and when you know, anytime you take that out of the picture, birth rates go up. You
Yep.
know, it's not the opposite. It's always birth rates go up, and then when these people don't, you know, it's not always the best circumstances. So you know, when you're talking about a new free labor force, well, keep having kids and don't know how to take care of them and don't know what's going on. And you're just populating
Yeah.
the next batch of prisons, you know.
I'm gonna
That's
use
my
that.
conspiracy though.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that as a segue because I'm gonna tell you who loves kids without sex education is sex predators. That is how, that is one way, one surefire way to actually help prevent these things is to actually educate children in a age appropriate way as they go through life on how these things work. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about ICE generally, but we're going to start with this story of an ICE employee who tried to solicit sex from a minor. Now, this is not technically an ICE employee; he's a contractor working for ICE, but details, schmetails.
He works for ICE and he is an auditor for them, a civilian employee. When he was arrested, he said, "I'm ICE boys." Well, unfortunately for him, we locked him up, we put him in our jail. He got reappropriated to our jail, and my understanding is um, he helped send people to send federal authorities. I think he's going to see some federal authorities because I think the feds are going to take this case.
So, first of all, that's really funny. Like, I hate liking cops, but that guy, God damn it, you did your thing there. Uh, it's it's crazy how this is sort of just such a feature of the Democrat or the Republican Party that the cabal happens and exists. But this is one of the things about ICE is that they are acting with impunity in so many ways. You have people that are breaking into homes and harassing people. You have people who have been robbed, people who have been tied up. You have in the detention facilities, a man was just found hanged with his hands and feet tied, a Chinese national, I believe, but hanged in his cell. You have alligator Auschwitz. You have concentration camps. You have all of these American citizens. You have Army vets, Jose Barco, who was convicted of a crime after, but he was a Purple Heart Army vet who applied for his citizenship in 2006. Was injured by a car bomb in 2004, suffered a severe brain injury, PTSD. He ended up firing a gun at a party, served his 15 years in prison, and then got deported. So not only did he never receive his citizenship, he was left out in the cold by the army that he served because he would not have been eligible for any benefits or Medicaid or Medicare because, well, he was never a citizen. Um, if we have instances of grandmas, grandpas, U.S. citizens, uh, and almost none of the people that they pick up are actually criminals. In fact, you'll recall the we did the deep report on Chicago in that apartment building that got raided by Black Hawk helicopters in the middle of the night. Children were dragged out in the cold, zip tied in their skivvies and even naked, and put into vans separated by race. And they said they had busted 120 Tren de Aragua gang members in that bust. It turns out it was zero. That was the real number, not a single fucking one. In fact, I don't even believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they even got one criminal out of that building. But they certainly got no Tren de Aragua, and they got almost exclusively American citizens. So that was a complete and utter fucking lie. They dragged America, they traumatized American citizens with army helicopters and dragged them out for no fucking reason. And now they're in San Antonio. They do a bust, and guess what the claim is? We got 120 trend. They didn't even change the fucking number. Like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Death threats. They have chyrons on Fox News that say death threats against up by 8,000%. Who the fuck believes that? First of all, no, they aren't. And second of all, maybe if you're worried about, having violence visited upon you, maybe stop visiting violence upon innocent people. Like, that's a good place to start. People who don't go around attacking people fear violence less. That's facts, Jack. Like, you could do more to protect yourself from violence being threatened against you. And also, you're being a pussy because nobody is doing that. Like, nobody is threatening violence by blowing a whistle in your face or calling you a pussy or, nobody is. There's no instance. All of these interactions are on tape, and there is no instance of an ICE officer being put in danger by anyone other than other ICE officers. That's what we know. But they do it over and over again. A lot of these guys are Jan Sixers. Several of these Jan Sixers have been pardoned, and all 1,500 of them actually have been pardoned, and several of them have reoffended. Most of them sex crimes, including Andrew Paul Johnson. Uh, he's a 44 Florida man who molested an 11-year-old boy at least 3 times since he's been out. 3 times in 6 months. He apologized to this kid over and over again. Begged him to stay quiet. Bought him an iPhone and claimed that he was getting a $12 million payout to which he would become a beneficiary of. Andrew Taki is a 36-year-old man charged in a sting in 2016 for attempting to sleep with a 15-year-old. He used bear spray and zip ties during January 6th, and they just brought him back in on sex charges. Uh, and then this guy in Minnesota, but like these people are. It's weird to me how many sex offenders are in and around ICE, but these are not good people. And if you are volunteering to be a part of this ICE thing, then you're not a good person. And that's all there is to it. I mean, you may not be, buying 11-year-olds iPhones in exchange for sex, but it doesn't make you a good person if you're involved in any of this. I'm gonna let you guys riff a little bit on ICE if you want. Just you take the subject more broadly because we don't get enough time to talk about it.
Well, we talked before the episode started about like the feeling of disgust when I see what's happening like in our streets. And just from an American freedom standpoint, people should be outraged by this. This is not a partisan issue. When they are able to detain American citizens simply because their complexion is a little different, that is going against everything that freedom means. Like that, it's ridiculous that you can be like, they'll get mad about DUI checkpoints and then in the same breath say that it's completely acceptable to just pull people off the street because they're brown. Like we're seeing videos of them ripping people off the street for being brown. And then once they realize they're American citizens, they still treat them like shit because they're brown.
Mhm.
They're like, "Oh, we gotta let this one go. You fucking brown people." That's what it is. That's why you don't see them doing this to Canadian immigrants or Russian immigrants or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't see that because it's not about immigration. Rest
No,
assured it is not about immigration.
no, it's about racism. Supreme Court reassured them their right to racially profile as well. They're
Yeah, great. Like they needed further permission, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah,
this is well, first of all, I'm going to say they're talking right now about building ICE detention facility in I think North Milwaukee. So fuck that. I'm going to be doing what I can to help protest that around my area. So that's first thing. But I mean, yeah, it's honestly I don't have like so I'm not in any of the areas like I haven't been personally witness to any of this, right? But like my instinct when I see this happening is like, oh, I'm gonna get myself arrested
yeah.
because I don't know. I mean, when you see these people crying out in like in Spanish, ayuda, ayúdame, ayúdame, like
Mhm.
help me, and they're being tackled down, or the disabled people, that can't even hardly speak, and they're doing
Yeah,
this to disabled people on the streets, and it's like, I want to kick you in the fucking face. Where's your badge? You wearing a mask? You don't have a badge? I don't know who you are. Fuck you. Like,
yeah,
I honestly foresee myself like I don't know. I just think I would get in trouble. It makes me so angry to see this happening to, our neighbors. I mean, that's what they are. It's not like these are some immigrants, that's some people that we don't know. That whole concept is bogus to begin with. But these are our neighbors, these are our fellow citizens. And if we don't stand up for them, we're not standing up for ourselves. Like, grow some fucking balls and stand up for yourselves. These are the same goddamn people I'll see fucking bitching about the police in their area treating them and profiling them because they're carrying I'm walking around and I got my, it's legal to have my open carry and the cops are judging me and this and that and they can't do that. Those people are the same ones that are like, yeah, but go profile these people in the streets, ICE, and grab them. Like it doesn't
yeah.
make and it doesn't ever compute to them that the same things that they're saying are two completely different things.
No, if it computed, then they would stand up for trans people and genocide too. But it doesn't compute, and it doesn't for some people, it can't ever get close enough to home for it to ever compute. You know, like a lot. Sometimes it takes a friend, and people are like, "Oh wait, not that guy." You know what I mean? Don't deport him. You know, like you've seen that happen a lot in these small towns where like, "Oh, Maria used to run this diner. I can't believe they deported her," and then they get all mad and upset and they go to protest. But every last one of them voted for mass deportations now. You know, but they're like, "Oh, not Linda." Well, yeah, fucking. What did you think? What did you think the mass part meant? Like that, like just a couple. I don't know. It's exhausting, but it is true. People don't haven't. If they thought it through, they wouldn't have voted for it in the first place.
Well, the detention centers are, not even just deportation. Those detention centers are
Yeah.
evil.
Yep.
And those there's less discrimination on who gets sent there than who gets deported. So it's like, you know,
Yeah.
literally me. And at any time they could scoop me up with the way that they're operating right now. I could get scooped up and thrown in a detention center for nothing,
Right.
nothing
And
at
that
all.
and they'll send you anywhere. Like they send
Yep.
people all over the United States because it's a money making scheme for all of them. Palantir, Stephen Miller, and all these guys are invested in these private prisons, and that's where they send you back and forth different private prisons. They do not give a fuck. All right, let's take a look at Jake's. I'm gonna admit that I already peeked at it a little bit. Kind of a free speech issue, but definitely another good one. So we've got four great topics for you today. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, what the fuck are you waiting for?
Hello. I will not be in the pod today, but I wanted to give my turd. I'm going to go see the new Wicked movie. But my turd is Vogue in the Met Gala. My question is this to glorify whiteness in a way? So the Met Gala itself is an overabundant display of wealth and inequality. Just to start off, like on a strong note, Vogue recently got rid of their Teen Vogue, which is not great because it's a bunch of firing of tons of employees and once again getting rid of journalism, which we've seen a lot of. And around Vogue recently, there's been rumors of Jeffy B said to have bought Vogue for his wife as a wedding gift because she didn't get the vintage Birkin bag she wanted. So this was a consolation gift. Also, this was done, I think, to overshadow the Met Museum workers pushing to unionize. So I think a lot of this coming out of like the new theme and everything is to overshadow the Met Museum workers pushing to unionize. The theme this upcoming year will be costume art. And their website claims that they are focusing on Western art, heavy on Greek and Roman themes, which we all know is fetishized by white supremacists and, you guessed it, billionaires. Trump is already coming down on museums, having them show more conservative choices of like whiteness, not necessarily Europeanism, but whiteness. So I just wanted to bring light to this. This is all speculation. It's not like written in stone, but the emphasis on Western art is fishy, and I wanted to like bring this to your attention and see what you guys thought of this topic.
All right. I'll start on a couple points. First of all, Teen Vogue is actually a very political publication. I did not know that, but upon a little bit of research, I found out that it is actually they do a lot of do a lot of investigative journalism and political reporting. So it is actually there's a lot of legitimate journalists who lost their job at Teen Vogue, not necessarily Vogue itself, but Teen Vogue, which was interesting. I did not know that. But as far as the Met Gala, Jeff Bezos, billionaires, and white supremacy, I think that's a no-brainer. Obviously, they are trying to pander to Donald Trump and this white supremacist, this white nationalist movement that we have going on in the country. What did you guys think of the turd?
I couldn't agree more. It's very clear where we're heading. Like they're, you know, it's like one superior race. Like every trend just kind of follows that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the old Roman salutes. Also, like, yeah, this is you talk about like dismantling education. You know, the war on museums and art and the Kennedy Center. Like this shit continues with him. And you know he was pissy because he didn't get his Met Gala invite specifically last year. So and Kamala was there and he wasn't. I don't know if you guys remember that from the election, but that was a big thing. We all know
Oh
how
yeah.
we all know Trump loves to be kept out of a fucking ball or a gala. He's he he actually does care deeply about shit like that. Um Also on the Jeff Bezos note, right? You're gonna buy a whole fucking publication uh because she didn't get the right fucking bag for Christmas or whatever. Like get the fuck out of here. You also like you're talking about a man too who his single-handedly like, he bought Amazon, which is dangerous, controlling all of the fucking sales of books essentially, right? He bought the Washington Post, which is also dangerous. Like the fact that we have such concentrated journalism is filthy fucking dangerous, right? Uh, but here's a man who goes to a dinner honoring the murderer of a journalist who worked for the publication that he bought. He sat there and toasted glasses with MBS, who is responsible for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. this guy, there is no lengths that this guy will go to fuck things up. So in my mind, this is all Jeff Bezos. I'm sure he's buying this gala for his girl too.
Imagine
Yep.
just buying a publication. I'm buying my wife an individual book. One book, please. I'd like one book. He's like, I'd like to buy this publication.
Yeah. Holy dog shit. I just want to be able to
I
afford
mean,
groceries.
I think they've already turned the Met Gala into an event for white supremacy. When I look at kind of, if I think about, I guess I don't know, an autocracy that would do something meaningful, right? Like, so they would get the power, but then in order to keep that, they would take that and then invest it back into the public, right? So it'd be
Mhm.
much more socialist, I guess. But you would take, and a lot of that is done through art, right? So the fact that they've taken this event, which is to kind of celebrate art and culture, and made it so unaffordable to the average person, such as that someone like me could never even go if I dreamed of, kind of seems counter to the whole point of sponsoring art and sponsoring culture to begin with. It's supposed to be so that we shut the fuck up and go out and enjoy things instead of complaining about you guys. And when you take it away, then we get mad and start complaining about our government again because you're taking all the good stuff away from society. So for me, when I look at what that whole gala kind of represents, it is white supremacy. It's
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely represents the class divide for certain. And I don't think that I think that's a blind spot for all these billionaires. I don't think that they take that seriously. I think that they feel free to play in our faces, obviously, with the building the ballrooms and stuff. And Jeff Bezos's wedding could have been more gaudy or ill-timed. And just not paying employees. I mean, Elon Musk is set to make more money than every educator on in our country. Like that's crazy combined. Like you combine the salaries of every single teacher in the country, and it would be less than what Elon Musk is set to make next year. So fuck that is what I'm saying. And the Met Gala has always been uh, that picture of the class divide, and so I guess it's only right that it goes to them. But the make no mistake, the culture wars are super important to MAGA. Like winning the culture war is everything because they want the part of creating lasting power is creating a culture, like owning the culture. Like that's what kids don't just learn from school. Like kids learn from TV and celebrities. They need the Sydney Sweeneys of the world to fucking whitewash their thing. And if they can use the Met Gala to normalize the Roman salute and big old fucking flags with eagles on them and shit, then by God they will, you know? So it is actually kind of terrifying to think about uh a Nazi takeover of a big event like the Met Gala. Pretty fucking scary.
Yeah,
All right.
this
Well,
is America.
this is what's left anyway. Uh so with that shameless plug, let's go find something more fun to talk about.
Nice.
Let's slide over and watch these videos. Some TikToks, time to slide into the FYP, see what's the internet thinks is on our minds. And I mean they tend to know better than we do, but we'll go through, watch a couple of TikToks, and call it a night. Let's start with our guests. Guest first. Watch one of Derek's.
my most political
Give me
one.
back that filet fish. Give me that fish. Give me back that filet fish. Give me that fish. What if it were you hanging up on this wall? If it were you in that sandwich, you wouldn't be laughing at all.
Any day is a great day for a fillet of fish. And right now at McDonald's, you can get two golden delicious sandwiches for only $3.33.
Holy
Say what?
shit.
Say what?
You can't get a small fry for $3.33.
Dude, these poor kids today don't know what it was like to go and fill up at 9 p.m. on the dollar menu and get $5 and five 5 items.
Right.
That's so shitty. Like that was the whole point of eating that garbage food was that it was cheap. We
Dude,
have
my grandma had a big mouth Billy Bass on the wall, and it's saying "Don't worry, be happy" instead of the filet of fish song.
yeah. Well, that's I think that was the standard was the or that one in Take Me to the River. That one. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
that too. Oh man. The things that used to entertain us. Here's one of Jake's. Jake found a new favorite song apparently.
We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame.
I literally cannot wait to get an abortion to this song and then become transgender right after. I'm like,
Thank God for that stitch. That song that is beyond corny. That is so
That
fucking corny.
that video will be on Fox News tomorrow as fear propaganda.
Oh, for sure. The,
Insurrection.
the proof that fucking TikTok is transgendering your kids. Thank God Larry
Yeah.
Ellison has a fucking hold of it now. All right, let's check out one of
It's almost got all the
Brad's.
Infinity Stones now.
True story, one time I found a pill on the floor of a public restroom. A public restroom. And then I snorted that pill off the back of the toilet because I was fairly certain it was an Adderall. And now I won't consume anything that has red dye in it because that seems risky. So,
Oh,
To
I,
be young again.
I can so relate to that
Oh
on
man.
so many levels. I remember like being a bartender, like sweeping up the bar, like sweeping underneath the seats. Like that was like a nightly routine to like look through, make sure that there's no like loose pills laying down.
Nothing good. Right.
Oh no, what is wrong with me? We're better now.
Yeah, we do recover or whatever they say.
Hmm. All right, here's one of mine. A little fan fiction. I should say this one for Jake. He loves the smut.
Mr. Clinton, there's a visitor for you, said Bill's secretary. He didn't need to ask who it was. There was only one person who would visit him this late. Hello, Donnie, greeted Bill without turning around. I know I'm running against Hillary, but I just had to see you. My wife and my mistress are both running for president. Puts me in quite a pickle, don't you think? How about you put that pickle in me instead? Said Trump as he sauntered over to Bill. She's a very nasty woman, Hillary, and she can't satisfy you like I can, quite frankly. So why don't we cut to the chase? I'm gonna make America great again, and you're going to break my back again. It's me and you, Bill. It always has been. Many people are saying this. Bill was torn between his marital and civic duties and his ravenous lust. The flames of his burning desire were all-consuming. The smell of Donald's powdery hair was too intoxicating. Suddenly, Bill turned around and flipped Donald onto his back. Wait, hold on, Bill. Not all at once. It won't fit, begged Donald. But Bill wasn't feeling merciful. By the time I'm done with you, you'll be funding universal health care. Every corner of Bill's office was drenched in the essence of their steamy affair and scandalous secret.
It's that I'm trying again. That I've seen it 3 times now, and I can't stop laughing at it. It's the impressions for me. They're so good. You
Real
know,
quick, Bitcoin's under 86.
Jesus Christ.
Minus 40,000 in a month and a half.
That's wild as fuck. Well, here's some distraction.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh is. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
It is crazy how my brain didn't miss a fucking beat.
Yeah, I mean, that is the power of advertisement, baby. In your head. Fucking
For
wild.
You page must have really thought I was going through something. They're like, here's some nostalgia for you, buddy. Like, feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, clearly they knew. All right. Let's see what else Jake's got for us. Oh my God. Sorry about the shitty quality there. Fucking computer's coming to a complete screeching halt. All right. Another one of mine. Oh yeah.
Breaking news from the United States of Israel. Donald Trump forced a Coca-Cola company to use real sugar in Coca-Cola. Meanwhile, China built another 7,000 new bridges. I heard it from Hassan Abi. He's traveling in China right now. But I mean, who cares about the fucking bridges? It's so boring. The great people in the United States of Israel, after they paying a lot of tax, when they're hungry, they can just drink a bottle of Coca-Cola and watch Netflix. That is democracy. That's how fancy it is. That's capitalism. When you compare to capitalism, compare to democracy, China just look like an old nerd. Oh my God, so boring bridges. I hate China.
So boring. Bridges.
So clearly my FYP knows that I'm done with the United States. Try to sell me on new countries. Bridges are pretty boring though.
The one that they just built has a waterfall that goes off the side of it.
What?
Yeah, it spans like this huge ravine.
Oh, had me and lost me. Love waterfalls, hate heights.
Not be a fan.
Yeah, I caved. I'm a senator. I can do whatever I want. What are you gonna do about it, piss breath? I wear what I want to work. This shit ain't Starbucks. It doesn't matter. A tie? One would call it what it is, a noose. I had a dream that everyone I knew was fake, and then I realized I couldn't wake up. I'm never gonna do stuff you like. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm never gonna vote to raise the minimum wage because you'd like that too much and it's lame. I hate Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter. What is all this pop music bullshit? Where's the good shit? I don't eat vegetables. I was supposed to be like Bernie, but instead I'm like this. I hope my wife leaves. That way no one will get on my case for not flushing. I'll never shower after gym. You can't make me. I get along with Trump because you guys don't like him. That makes him cool to me. I draw tattoos on my legs with pen every time I'm in the set. Sometimes I just want to freaking die. But you posers and fakers would love that, wouldn't you?
I can't wait to vote him out.
I got.
All right, we'll do this one. Oh my God. All right, that's a good note to end it on, is Eddie.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the Derealization Nation. Really do appreciate you. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Thanks for making this a real thing. We appreciate
Buy some merch. John, show them the merch.
That's the merch. Buy the merch, derealizationnation.com. Enter code FDT8647. Get it before Black Friday, because on Black Friday, they're going to be triple price for no reason at all, because fuck capitalism. All right. Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.
Today, the United States Coast Guard decided to no longer recognize the swastika and or the noose as hate symbols.